Already going live in three, two, one. Well, this is Olivia On Air, episode number 8, and I will bring Olivia on. How are you doing, Olivia?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing good. You said earlier you had a big rainstorm. I looked at the radar after you. This was before our show. You sent me an email saying you weren't sure if the power was going to go out. Did you have any issues?
Yeah, the power went out for maybe like 30 seconds. It really wasn't that bad. There was just it was just like a quick thunderstorm. There was big thunder though. It was really loud.
The I was doing my usual rush hour traffic reports, and as soon as you sent me that email, I brought up the radar and I saw it. It was pretty. Looked like St. Petersburg was getting hit the hardest at that point. So were you was the whole area affected by? I mean, you said only had a 30-second power outage. Was anything else really? Was it really that bad, or was it just kind of a minor thing?
It was a minor thing. It was like maybe maybe like half an hour of heavy rain and thunder, and now it's like cleared up. So,
Oh, okay, okay, that's pretty good. Any flooding?
um, not really. I mean, like I'm not outside, so um I don't really know, but as far as I know, it's like some back roads get flooded, um, and if it rains heavily for like a whole day or something, then there's some actual like flood concerns. But for the most part, it'll be flooded for a little minute, and then everything will drain pretty quickly after the rain stops.
The interesting thing was when I got your email, I didn't say this before we went live, but since I was doing traffic, I was able to update my traffic reports to reflect the heavier rain for the Tampa area. So, uh, primarily because of your email. I usually monitor that to see what the weather conditions are like, but I didn't realize the rain was getting that bad. And I looked over there and I saw the big, like I said earlier, the big downpour on primarily St. Petersburg. And I was like, ooh, okay, that's something to mention. So,
That's
because of
cool.
because of you, people got hopefully maybe a little better heads up on what to expect when they head on the roads.
You're welcome to the people.
I'm sure they appreciate it. So, would you like to look at our question from last week?
Of course.
All right, let me bring this up here. Uh, all right, looks like a relatively decent response. The question was, are you pursuing or planning? Let's see, are you pursuing or are you planning to pursue a career in the arts? And what path did you take? Examples would be graphic design, arts administration, work in an art museum. And we were testing this where we were going to see if the number one answer. We did it kind of in a reverse order, didn't we?
Yeah. Yeah.
So we wanted to see if the number one answer would be the top answer. It looks like in this case, it actually it actually is.
It is. But that might also be because people don't care about art.
That's a shame too. What was we checked this before we left? Was it about the same?
I think so, yeah. It was about 70 in the 70s for the I don't care, and then the rest were, I think, around the same.
Okay, so we got 73% with I don't care. Next down we got a tie, 10% with I am a piece of art and no. And finally, up at the bottom, yes, with only 7%. So you could basically say 93% of the people just, I guess I'm a piece of art would be 10%. So it would make it 83% of the people just don't really appreciate art these days, at least in the voting section. Now, I have recently discovered, and this is kind of strange, that the votes don't always match with the comments. Sometimes we'll get completely opposite results in the comments versus what we get in the voting, which is really odd. And I'm wondering if people if they vote and then they just don't care to respond, or if the people who are responding, maybe they see that their vote is so low that they want to respond to emphasize that they think it really matters. I'm just kind of curious about that, but it seems to be. Well, we can read through these and see if that's the same. But that's happened a couple of times recently, and I was really surprised to see that.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think that's a good hypothesis there. I think that it's like the people who don't care make the vote that they don't care, or like a negative answer or whatever, or like what the positive one, whatever. And then the people who like are passionate about the subject go in on the comments.
Yeah.
That would make sense.
So let's see. We got Mr. Signature saying graphic design is a nice path if you're willing to take it. Same for the other paths you mentioned. Okay. Okay. Uh, what's that say? Can't. Although it's another language, I can't read it. Sorry, but I'm not. I don't speak that language. Next one down, peace. I'm not sure. Some of these I can't read. Graphics designing with a little heart. I'd say I'm a piece of art because I can draw very well, and me too. I would, but I'm trash at art. Oh, okay. Well, I don't think anyone's trash at art. I mean, everybody can draw something. I think. I mean, what do you think?
Yeah, I think everyone has like a an artistic ability, whether like I guess whether you realize it or not. It's like if you used to doodle in class a lot, then you know you have artistic ability. Or if you I don't know, there's like lots of different ways to do art, and as long as you like like it or feel good doing it, then it's not trash, you know.
Hmm. I remember when I was in elementary school, we would draw on our desks, our desktops, and the images would stay there for long periods of time. So, and then like we'd have to switch classes. Like there'd be two, like maybe two different fifth grade classes. So the students would swap around, and then we'd come in, and someone else would draw on top of my drawing that on my desktop there. So I'd see different images. Um, and I guess we are like in little mini competitions with each other to see who could make the best or maybe the most obscene sometimes with some kind of images that we could put on there. Um, as far as I was trying to, as far as yeah, there wasn't much. Well, the school I went to was not really didn't have very much as far as any graffiti issues or anything like that. I don't remember anything like that. So it was always just basically people drawing on the top of our desktops. That was a big thing for some reason.
Yeah, that's cool. I think it's like that in like most schools. In our school, I don't know um, if this was the same for you, but in our school, like taking like a pencil or a sharpie into the bathroom and writing or drawing something on the stall wall, that was a
Um,
big thing too.
yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely. Yeah. That was usually you'd see the most obscene stuff, of course. So
For me, it was like a lot of inspirational quotes. I don't know why, but a lot of there were it was oddly enough many inspirational quote or things that were trying to be inspirational, you know.
interesting. On the bathroom walls. I mean,
Yep,
someone's sitting on the john and they have an epiphany, I guess.
I
So
guess, yeah.
let's see. We'll go down to the next one. I don't care with a little smiley face. Let's see. I have a degree in graphic design, but I might just settle to be a postal a postal worker. Oh, I hope not. If you got something, you should be able to get something better than that. Not, no offense to any postal workers out there, of course. So, life is hard. Always have to work hard to earn something. Let's see.
Amen.
Right now, I hate living on Earth. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I'm not. See, the only thing I'm pursuing is the. Okay, this is a reference to Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. The is pursuing the damn train. LOL. There's a game. There's a mission in the game where you have to chase after a train, and
Oh,
so a lot of people think that the mission is very hard. It's actually relatively easy. You just got to know how to do it right. What happens is the main character CJ, who you're playing as, he rides a motorbike, and then the character Big Smoke, which is a big chubby guy, he rides on the back of the bike, and he has to shoot at the fellow gang, the opposing gang members who are standing on top of a moving train. And he's not a very good shot, so you have to just position it right in the right way so that he can shoot them. And a lot of people can't do that right, so they think it's a hard mission. So
that
it's
sounds
become
hard.
it's become a meme of sorts because one of the lines is if you fail the mission is all you have to do is follow the damn train, CJ. And so that's where he's getting that line from, following the damn train or pursuing the damn train.
Oh,
Let's see. Hola, no something, something, ja, ja, ja. I just write my name all over town. I think we saw that one, maybe.
I
Uh,
think so, yeah.
I know I'm pursuing a criminal justice career. Okay. Well, that's interesting.
That is interesting.
So what is that? Is that 2,100 votes? Yeah, 2,100 votes. So yeah, that was pretty good. Did we have another question? Was that the only one? We just combined it as like two questions as one, right?
I thought we had another one that was like worded a bit more broadly. Like
Let
that might make more sense for everyone, I think.
let's see if it wasn't that one. Okay, here we go. Did you? Okay, yeah, here we go. This is it right here. We did have a second one. Okay. Did you pursue a creative career? Example, artist, YouTube influencer, editor, actor, etc. In what field did you choose? Let's see.
Interesting.
So this one goes against the whole yes being the top answer being the one that people pick the most because we got 69% with yes. They did pursue a creative career. And that's 69% with 19% at no and 12% with I don't care. Hmm. Well, it goes
I
kind of goes against the other one, which was the exact opposite, which was they were
yeah. I think this one, okay, so the other one, I could see how people would read it and think of a career specifically in the fine arts, as in like pottery, painting, um, sculpting, I guess, stuff like that, like gallery work. And that's much more of a niche thing where maybe not as many people would be interested in doing that, especially because technology makes like graphic design and like making art online and like on your phone, and like also being creative in general with technology is a lot more popular now. So I think that might be why, because
hmm,
this question is worded more like broadly in terms of just being creative in your career, which encompasses many different careers.
right. I think this one might. Before we went live, I said I think there might have been a nasty answer on what this might be the one where I saw the nasty answer. So if we do, we'll skip over that one just to give you guys a heads up here. So
Okay.
let's go ahead and see what kind of results we got here. Culinary arts. It ended after 15 years with the con with me contemplating staffing or stuffing a manager into a 500 rotisserie oven or walking out with little what little salary I had left. Considering I took the time to write this out, you can probably safely guess which one I chose. And we got a single reply. I heard being in the culinary field is really stressful. What eventually made you okay? Quit. Okay, no response on that one. So I wanted a career in the YouTube and singing industry, but also having a regular life by having a regular job. But it's taking such a long time to do so. Okay. See, why is a YouTube influencer along these professions? So you want to have it? Do you have an answer for that one?
Yeah, being an influencer is really, I mean, you have to be very creative. There are people, I do believe that there are influencers that kind of buy their way to the top or use their wealth kind of, you know what flex culture is, where people show off all the money they have and all like the stuff that they buy with all the money they have. I think that, that is a way of buying followers, and that's a way of like kind of getting people to watch you, because there's always going to be people that want to see the, insane wealth. But there are many other creators on YouTube that are like comedy creators or people that make art on YouTube or like things like this, who like people who edit videos and do, I think like playing video games and doing stuff like that. That's a very creative thing to do. Um, Stuff like that, I think that that's a very valid creative career to have.
Hmm. Okay. I don't know about playing video games. I mean, I do it, but it's just basically I did it just because I didn't expect my channel to become popular otherwise. I just thought it was just me just uploading video for fun. So I never really considered it more like an art anything artistic about it. I do know that when I make the videos, I will do like sometimes it'll take me several times just to make it look right. So
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like it's creative. I think that's a creative way to do it. And there are like other video game like YouTubers who edit their videos in creative ways. So
yeah.
editing is definitely an art form, because editing videos sounds like super difficult to me, but some people do it and they make it look so easy,
How do you
you
feel
know?
about yeah, how do you feel about editing when it comes to like movies? Would you consider that an art form? I when I was
Oh,
young-
definitely.
when I was younger, I when I was much younger, so you have to excuse me when I say this. I looked at I was like, why would an editor be have any influence or just putting the film together? And of course, that was this was before I got into any kind of media at all. I was probably like a little kid, and of course, now later on, much later in life, I know that it's very important. But I later on in life, I was like, why did I say that when I was younger? So, but
Yeah,
yeah.
that's fair though.
So yeah, go ahead. I cut you off when you were going to say something there.
I don't remember what I was gonna say. What was it about, like
It's about
editing videos
yeah.
and stuff?
Yeah, I
Okay.
was going to ask you how you felt about editing in videos. Did you think that it was an art form? I think something to that effect.
It's like it's definitely a super creative thing to do. I don't know if you watch the channel. It's called Brutal Moose, BrutalMoose.
Hmm.
He like does reviews and stuff, and just his editing. Like his videos are pretty kind of relaxed, and some of them are just like frozen food reviews, like stuff like that, but his editing is so like it's so funny, and it looks really difficult, and it looks like he puts a lot of time into his videos. So I think that it's definitely it can be just something that you do because you have to edit a video for YouTube, but I think for a lot of people it's like a genuine, yeah,
That's him. Okay.
yeah, it's like a genuine like it's an art form, it really is. And especially with movies and stuff, I mean, you have to know like what people, and like sound design with movies, you have to be able to edit the sounds, the visuals, the like you have to know what if you need a filter or anything, all that stuff. You have to make everything look you have to make sure that there's continuity in the movie, like the how it looks. You have to make sure everything looks right for, the tone of the scene. You have to have a really like strong understanding for what's going on in the movie at every point, and what you want the viewer to see. And I think that's really difficult, and I it's definitely probably one of the harder jobs that I can think of, like that I would, in the career path that I'm interested in, that's one of the most difficult things that I can think of.
Okay. There's a video on YouTube called "How Star Wars Was Saved in the Edit," meaning, and I've watched it. I watched it a while ago. I think it's still on YouTube. Basically, it's the very first Star Wars movie from 1977, and they were putting it all together, and it was arguing the fact that the movie itself probably would not have been as good as it was, as as a huge inspiration or a huge cultural phenomenon as it was, if it hadn't been edited correctly at the very end. It was done very quickly at the very end, and it's done very well to make it such a good movie. Of course, I've watched it, and they made some good points. I haven't seen it in a while, but you can also argue that the whole movie came together and it was done at the right time. Everything just happened to come at the right time. The score was great. The story was very the it was a very good story that incorporated the old what's the with the journey. It's the journey. I forget what they call it exactly, but everything came together at the right time. So I would say editing is definitely part of it. But the video is going on to say that it was the primary reason. I don't think that's exactly why, but it was a pretty good movie, or video, I should say, discussing it.
Yeah, that's interesting. I definitely think that it's like editing is a huge part of any movie, and that's like an argument you can make for any movie, saying that like, oh, if like, let me think of another. If like, oh man, I forget. Maybe if Shrek, if Lord of the Rings, if Princess Bride, whatever, if they weren't edited properly, then they wouldn't be nearly as popular as they are.
Right, right. Yeah. So editing is a very much of a key factor, obviously, but there's other factors as well. It's not just the editing. So
Yeah.
yeah. So let's see. Going down. Next one's in another language, so I'll skip over that. Football is my life. Okay. I am a IAS. Not sure what that means. I Kiss Best Fan says I used to work as a screenwriter, then changed into video editing. Now I became a blue collar. Oh, okay. Let's see.
Interesting.
Now I won't go through all the things here. see, football. Or that's the second football question. Was there something about football in here?
I
Um,
didn't think so. Maybe it was like a big football day or something.
That's pretty funny. Two of them. Let's see. I chose to go in computer science. Okay. I want to be a singer, and Justin Bieber is my idol. Pray that my dream will come true. Interesting. Uh, just asking why he's his idol. Good morning, brother. Me is confused about what we want, about what me want. Artist, maybe YouTube, and I chose a career at Clucking Bell. Okay, Clucking Bell is the another reference to Grand Theft Auto San Andreas. That's one of the. That's also another, not just San Andreas, but other Grand Theft Auto games. It's one of the restaurants that you can go to and get food. So
That's
it's
cool.
like a parody of like any chicken place you can think of, like Kentucky Fried Chicken or something like that. So, and
Okay.
of course, that one has 11 thumbs up. So yeah, I do find that interesting. The comments seem to match the results, I guess. Well, maybe, or maybe not. No, it's about 50-50 on the result on the comments. So it's not really matching exactly as I was thinking originally. So, but okay, do you have another question you'd like to ask for this week?
Ooh, let me think. Ooh, I don't have a good one. Do you have one?
Let me think. Uh, hmm, hmm.
Ooh,
Uh,
I have one that I like to ask every now and then. If you could be anywhere right now, where would you be? I
okay.
like that question.
If you could be anywhere.
Oh wait, how are we gonna make this multiple choice?
Um, we could put like five answers and then one of them they could say let them choose.
Right. Okay. Maybe like general um answers like the suburbs, the city, the
Okay.
countryside, something like that.
Okay. Would is this right? Did I write that? If you could be anywhere right now, where would you be? Is that how you said it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Perfect.
All right. Uh, okay. How about we put so what do you want to make this you said anywhere. Do you want to make this beyond the boundaries of Earth too, or are you just talking about on like earthbound, like like things that are believable, more grounded in reality?
I mean, I guess it could be anywhere. If you really want to be on like Neptune or something, I would never, I can't, I can't stop you. Time and space can, but I can't. So anywhere could involve literally anywhere.
Okay, okay. So what could we put? Maybe we could put another planet. Then would you like to put that?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you want to put the choice that they can choose first? Like they can put their choice first as the first one?
Yeah.
Okay.
Your choice or something.
Yeah. Okay.
Your choice, and then like maybe in parentheses, comment below or something.
Okay. Yeah, I think that works pretty well.
And then maybe next could be the French countryside. I don't know. It's the first thing that came to mind.
French countryside. That's kind of specific almost.
Yes. It
Interesting.
is beautiful. The it is really beautiful. Maybe not everywhere, but in the pictures that I've seen.
So you've never been there yourself.
Oh no, no, no. But the pictures and like my mom watches this show called Escape to the Country where it's like a British show, so they don't show the French countryside, but they do show European countrysides and it is gorgeous. So,
Well, of course, I mean, they obviously going back to the editing, they're only selectively showing you what you want to see, of course. You see,
oh yeah. But even in the rain, even when it's like really icky out, it's pretty. Let me think of another one. The middle of the ocean. I don't know
yeah.
why you would want to be there, but you do you.
Honestly, I just hold on, I picked something up and I dropped it. Okay, middle of the ocean. Okay, middle. Oops. And we got one more choice.
Maybe a big city or something.
Okay, a big city. Okay. If you could be anywhere right now, where would you be? Where? Okay, I'm proofreading this because I always seem to have one miss extra word or something out in there, and they always catch that, and I don't. Your choice, common
Everything
ground.
looks good.
Okay, ready? I'll go ahead and proceed.
Perfect.
There we go.
Sweet.
All right. So you had some art you wanted to show, right?
Yes. So if you listen to the last episode, you might have heard that I'm working on some fruit pants. And I finished doing the lemons and the grapes. And just before, if anyone says anything about them, I know that they're not to scale. Um, that kind of went out the window when I made lemons way smaller than grapes, but it's about fruit being on the jeans at the end of the day. And now I'm working on strawberries. They're not in their final form yet, but they are halfway there, maybe.
Okay.
Sort
And
of.
this is I'm bringing up the image right now. It's just one image with two in the same shot, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Let me make sure. Okay. Oh no, it looks like two separate images.
Oh,
I'm gonna try to copy them. Hold on a second.
okay.
Hold on. Let me give me 1 second while I try to save these. I don't want to. These are awfully large.
Oh, sorry about that.
That's okay. I'm trying to see how I could do this without showing my email accounts. I didn't actually save them yet. Give me 1 second here.
It's all right. I'll describe some of it. So far, I started with the lemons, I scattered them around the jeans, and I decided to not look up what anything looks like and just go off memory, which, that's not always the best decision. And some of the lemons on these jeans do look deformed. I'm not going to lie. But that's okay because sometimes lemons in real life are deformed. And so it's really just reflective of reality. I also put little green stems, which maybe could have been a darker green, but that's kind of like the color that they look like on the little, I don't know if anyone else has it, but those little lemon juice bottles where the lemon juice comes in a bottle that's shaped like a lemon. They have the little green top. That's how it kind of looks. That's what it reminds me of. And the
Okay.
grapes are like there's not a lot of grapes on there and they're
I,
kind of all connected like unrealistically by the little green vines, but that's okay.
okay. I'm trying to. Would it go back to that lemon bottle? Like you mean the little? Describe that again. Here's their
It's
picture. Oops.
it's like a little
I'm sorry. I thought I had the picture up. There it is. There we go.
nice.
There we go. So, yeah. Go ahead.
Kind of
The
way zoomed in. Sorry.
the lemon bottle. Describe that again because I missed what you were saying there.
So I don't know if like this might not be popular in other countries. It might be just America, but um, we have like lemon juice in a lemon shaped bottle. I don't know if you've ever used it, or maybe I don't know, but
Yep.
we have lemon juice in like a lemon shaped, small lemon shaped bottle. It literally is like the size of a lemon, and it looks sort of like it's a yellow bottle with the green top, just like that. That's kind
And
of a sneak peek into the pants.
the here, let me use this one instead. I know how to use this program a little bit better. Here we go. Yeah, and it has like a I have lemon juice, and what happens is um it has a little like a squirt little thing at in the top. Is that what you're talking about? Like so you can squirt it in a certain way. So
Yeah.
instead of pouring it out, okay, I know what you're talking about. So give me a second here. Let me reduce the size. Oops, hold on. About 20%. Go down to about 25% here. There we go. Okay.
And then the strawberries, they're not coming across the same color that they are in real life, but that's okay. Um, the strawberries are way too big compared to the lemons, but I kind of like the color more, so I did them bigger.
Oh yeah, well, it doesn't. I don't think people are going to look at that and say, "Well, they're not the same size to scale and everything."
That might just be a little self-critical, I guess. Yeah, I think they're fun.
the
So,
Go ahead.
no, yeah, I was just gonna say like my mom wants a pair of like shorts or something with that with the pattern on, so I might have another one, and I'll actually do them to scale.
So I'm bringing up the other image right now. Give me 1 second here. Um, Let's make sure I can okay, there we go. There we go. Here's the other image right there. And is this now? Is there any? Is there? It looks like basically so far you just have one, two, yeah, the lemons, the grapes, and the strawberries, and something at the bottom. What's that? At the bottom right corner. Is that also what is that?
That's just grapes, also.
Oh, it's grapes. Okay, I couldn't tell what they were. Okay, the lighting is
Yeah.
just a little different there. Okay, the and is what how it, as far as the is it going to stay on there?
I really hope so. It's maybe I probably should have tested my method out on a small piece of fabric and washed it and everything before I did this, but I didn't. And that's on me. What I what I did, I tried to look up if so acrylic paint is like the cheapest, most basic form of paint. Well, form of like thick paint that isn't watercolor. I'm not explaining this well already, but acrylic paint it's basically a water-based paint. I don't use oil paint too much because it's expensive. And acrylic paint at Walmart, it's about like 99 cents for a bottle, like a little bottle of it, and it lasts for probably like a year. So it's like it's a good deal, and the color is nice, and it's pretty easy to work with. So I have a lot of acrylic paint, and I didn't want to buy like a whole array of different fabric paint colors, especially since fabric paint is usually it's not super pigmented, and it kind of sucks sometimes, and it's also a lot more expensive. So what I did was I looked up whether you can make acrylic paint into textile or fabric paint. And you can. It's actually a super popular thing to do. There's this stuff called textile medium that you can get from a craft store. And it basically, you mix your acrylic paint and this textile medium in a 2-to-1 ratio. And it makes it more watery, so you have to use more layers. But you're just basically you're just supposed to heat set it, which means use an iron and some parchment paper,
Mhm.
and then like iron the paint on there, and then like it should heat set into the fabric, and then you should be good to wash it. But just in case, I'm probably not going to wash it. I'm probably going to wear them as many times as I can before washing them, and that way, and like get some pictures in them. That way, just in case they, deteriorate in the wash or something, or all the paint comes off, I will have at least a few wears out of them.
Okay, yeah,
So,
that's my thought. The other thing I was thinking is that they might run too. Colors might run.
yeah, I hope not. It's kind of plasticky. I don't know if you can hear that. It's like I'm tapping the dry paint.
Yes.
It's
There you
like
go.
plastic. It's kind of, I don't know. It's
Okay.
plasticky.
Okay. Yeah. So it probably wouldn't run, but it might peel off though, is what I'm thinking.
Yeah. It looks like the first layer really like it kind of disappears because it really soaks into the fabric. So hopefully there will at least be like a faint a faint pattern if everything goes wrong. There'll at least be like a slight inkling that something used to be there.
You could just be like a hobo or a dirty hippie and just walk around and never wash them. And
Yeah. There's a few like articles that are like you're not supposed to wash jeans. I've not looked into it,
really,
but apparently denim, I mean, it kind of makes sense because denim was meant to be worn a bunch, but I usually wash my jeans every single time. But I
yeah,
do understand like how I mean, I'm just gonna try to go maybe 2 or 3 times without getting these messy or anything.
yeah.
Hopefully that'll work.
Yeah, I've worn jeans and I've washed them for a few days and they look pretty nasty. So yeah, it's probably because I was out there doing some work and things. And yeah, I think I'd rather wash the jeans. The only thing I know is when I don't usually wear jeans anymore. I usually wear like more like khaki pants. But whenever I did wear them, they did seem to shrink up pretty tight for some reason. Either that or I was just getting kind of big. I don't know. But I really don't think I was putting on that much weight. It just seemed like they were just constantly shrinking around me all the time every time I washed them. So maybe I was washing them the wrong kind of, I don't know, maybe the wrong temperature or something. I don't know.
That's
So
interesting. I usually wash my jeans on warm and I dry them on warm and they don't usually shrink. Maybe it was like the brand. Did you get a specific brand of jean?
it's been so long since I've actually worn jeans that maybe my memory could be faded as well. Maybe I'm just not remembering correctly. I don't know. It's been a long time. It's been a long time. I stopped wearing jeans probably when just out of high school. So I didn't.
Maybe they make them better this now. Like they might make them so that they don't shrink. Because I
Mm.
don't think I've ever had not to my knowledge, I've never had a pair of jeans that shrinks.
I did have some shortly after high school. Those are the ones that I remember being so tight all of a sudden. They weren't tight when I first got them. So I don't know. It could be just maybe I just had a weird experience. I don't know. So I will say these look very nice. I like these. Would you ever consider doing this as a like maybe like selling this in some way?
My therapist asked me that question because she really likes them too. So I'm thinking maybe I should because my best friend really likes them, my mom really likes them, and she really likes them. So maybe I will I don't know, maybe I'll set up some sort of Instagram account or Etsy or something where I can sell some. It would just take me a while because each one, I mean, it's a lot of labor. It's a lot of like working on the small details over and over again because I have to do so many layers.
Hmm. I'm not trying to be rude, but this is not something I'd probably wear unless I was going out and trying to be really colorful this in some way. But
Yeah,
usually
no, that's fair. That's fair. It's definitely not for everybody.
in fact I would think that probably more women would like this than men, I'm guessing. And this you have men that are more free spirited, I guess. The this I'm not, like I said, this looks more feminine to me. That's not meant to, in no way am I trying to take it down. It looks really nice. I just it just comes across as more something that a woman would enjoy more than a man. That's just my opinion. So
Right. Or like someone who dresses, I guess, more femininely because
yeah.
anyone can. Yeah. And these are like men's pants. So, if you are a dude and you want some, of course, let us know. I would love to make you a pair. It will take a while though. Keep that in mind.
Would you change? Would you like make a like take requests? I guess like certain kinds of images, like things like that.
I'm not good at painting everything, so I could I would maybe take a request, but then I'd be like, "Hey, I can't really draw," um maybe I guess I can't let me think of something I can't draw really well. I can't draw um I can't draw a realistic cow very well, so I can't put that on a pair of jeans. I'm so sorry. I would have to say something like that.
Okay. I think so. I don't think I wonder if how many people would want a cow though. That'd be kind of interesting. The
I would wear a pair of jeans with a cow on them, but I would wear a pair of jeans with a lot of things on them, so I guess that's not a good staple,
I
a
was
good
thinking
baseline.
I was thinking like maybe someone who works on a farm or something. That's the first thing I was trying to think of who would wear for everything like that. Okay, that's interesting. The the any other kind of animals?
I'm not the best at drawing animals just because animals and like humans are very symmetric, and I'm not always the best at drawing symmetric things. Um, it's like drawing an eye and then trying to draw the other eye the same way but flipped is so difficult. And a lot of people can do it really well. And if you're looking for that kind of thing, definitely look on Etsy, and I'm sure you'll find someone who's like super, super good at it. I'm just not one of those people that are good at doing symmetry. So um, the more organic shapes, the better for me.
Okay. The do you sell? Have you ever done anything on Etsy before?
Yeah, I've tried to sell like jewelry and stuff. I think that was in high school. It didn't really work at all. But I'm not that good at business. I'm not good at like I could never imagine starting my own business or anything. I'm just not I don't care enough. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it's like when it comes to advertising everything and stuff like that, I just don't have the motivation to do that kind of thing. It's not
Okay.
naturally in my soul. So, I don't know. I think I'm just not that good at, you know, advertising myself.
I got you. I started my own business 15 years ago, so the motivation for me was I got tired of the industry I was in, so I just decided, okay, I've had enough. I can do this myself, and I decided I'm going to do it myself. And if I fail, I fail, but at least I'm going to try, in the process, see what I can do. So
Right. That
it,
makes sense. That's another thing, I guess. I don't know anything about anything right now, especially when it comes to like business and stuff. So maybe in like 30 years or something, I'll change my mind.
right. Yeah, and believe me, I'm not suggesting everyone do it because it's very hard to do. So you're right. It is something that you have to be dedicated to it. So
Yeah.
okay. Well, anyway, anything else you want to add to these about the?
Um, I don't think I have anything else to add. Oh, I will be adding pears and oranges to these jeans, just if in case ever anyone was wondering. And then I'll be done. And that might be before our next podcast, but it also might not be. I don't know.
Okay. So basically, when you're done, it'll be will it mostly be like completely covered. Will there be any overlapping images?
I don't think I will do any overlapping. I think it'll just be like most of the blank space will be filled.
Okay. So how about let me ask you, since we're talking about art, how do you feel about the artist Bob Ross when he makes his images, paints his
Oh
paint?
my goodness. I have a calendar that's Bob Ross themed. He was like, so in high school, I was really like in a low place mentally, believe it or not. I feel like a lot of people are like, "Oh, that's not possible if you're in high school," but it very well is. Um, and he was kind of like, I was like, I don't know how to explain it other than like I was just kind of numb to everything and I didn't really do anything. Like my room stayed clean because I didn't do anything. You know what I'm saying? Like I really did. I was just sleeping all the time. I was really sad. So I would watch Bob Ross and I had like Amazon Prime Video on my TV at the time, and I would put on a Bob Ross episode after school. I would do my homework, put on a Bob Ross episode, take a nap. And that was like, I think that's kind of the reason I started. I mean, I think I watched it so much that it became like, it was kind of ingrained in my brain to like, there's no mistakes, just happy accidents, and you can like make your world however you want to make it. And I started doing paintings that were kind of Bob Ross esque. And then I started actually like really liking what I was painting because I think before I didn't I would like create something, I would paint something and I really hated it because it was like I could see all the flaws in it that I like the perceived flaws that I had even though like other people were like this is actually really good, for like a 14-year-old. Um and after I started watching Bob Ross, it was like I really started liking my art and what I was doing and I took a whole different approach to it. So,
Hmm. Well, Bob Ross, I don't know if you know this, but Bob Ross, there's a video on YouTube, and I believe they're correct because they're usually pretty good on the research. Bob Ross, the reason why he was so happy and so cheerful in his videos is because he was in the military and he was actually a very angry person in the military, believe it or not. And he wanted to be the exact opposite. So he changed his ways and became a very peaceful, kind person. So which is really funny when you think about it. Because if anybody's watched his videos, he's a very kind person, very caring, and like you said, happy accidents and all that. And the hairstyle he wears, he actually hated his little, I guess you could call it like an afro. He hated his afro hairstyle. He hated it, but because it became his trademark, he had to keep on wearing it all the way to the end. So
yeah, I saw he would talk about the military sometimes in the videos and he like one of his fingers was missing. I think the hand that he held his palette with, the paint palette, that had a missing finger. I think his first finger or something.
oh, I never knew that. That's interesting. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's hard to imagine him being such an angry person. So
Yeah, I would never want to get yelled at by Bob Ross.
I watched Bob Ross a lot, and then I was never inspired by him. I just liked his images, the paintings he did. The one I will say this, I don't remember which. All of his paintings look really good, but one time he has the happy accidents or however he phrases that, and he made a mistake one time, and he never, even though he kept on saying, "Oh, it's just a happy accident" or whatever, the painting did not look good after he made that one mistake. It was the one time where in my opinion, where the painting just lost. a lot because he made one big mistake, unfortunately. So
Oh, interesting. I've never seen that. I think I watched like the later seasons. I'm not sure.
it was only one time. All the other times it was just one. It was really funny because you could tell he was trying to correct it and he just couldn't get it back to the way it was. And it was unfortunate because the painting just it was still, it was good, of course, but it just was lacking because he made that one mistake when he was doing something, whatever it was. I don't remember. So it was so long ago. But I did enjoy Bob Ross. So that's interesting that you were inspired by him like that. So
Yeah. I forget sometimes, but yeah, it's nice. So, the video that we're going to talk about, the movie that we're going to talk about today is one of your favorites?
yeah, I'd say that. Yeah. Did you want to talk about it? Did you want to describe it?
Yes. So, it's called Baraka, right? I hope I'm saying that right.
Yes.
And it's like the best way that I can explain it is like a kind of like a documentary style video where it takes images and clips from real life of both people, animals, the environment, etc. And instead of narrating anything or having any dialogue, it's like a soundscape sort of thing. And there's different music and sounds that they use over different clips.
Okay, yeah, it's pretty good. I'll add that that Ron Frick is the guy who created this, and this is technically, you could almost call it a sequel. I don't know if you know that, but he made this one came out in 1992. Baraka, that is. The original movie that he based this on was a shorter film called Kronos, and the if you watch Kronos, you'll see a lot of similarities between this and Baraka. And there's actually a third movie in this that's called Samsara. I think is how it's pronounced. So yes,
Interesting.
Samsara. The Baraka came out in 92, Kronos in 85, and Samsara came out 10 years ago, I think in 2011. So this my first impression, you gave yours. My first impression when I saw it was I thought of it as like looking at a National Geographic museum, or I'm sorry, National Geographic magazine coming to life, so to speak.
That's a really good way of describing it.
The images just moving around, and it's just whenever I looked at National Geographic, I never read the articles. I just looked at the pictures. So this is what that was about. I had no idea what I was looking at. I was at a friend of a friend's place. He had a big projection screen. It was the year 2001, I think. So it was like 20 years ago when I first saw this, and I had no idea what we were looking at. The imagery was really fascinating. I was like, I I was like, I memorized the spelling of the name because I didn't have any way to access the internet because this was 2001. You couldn't really, I'd have to borrow a friend's computer to do that back then. And so I just memorized the name Baraka, Baraka. I memorized that. So I would, but next time I was near the computer, I was able to look it up and see what it was all about. Um, the, uh, the images that I saw now, I liked it so much I had to buy the movie. At the time, it was only available on VHS, which is kind of funny. So I bought the VHS tape and I played it over and over. And then eventually they came out on DVD, so I bought the DVD. Um, I'm sure they have it on Blu-ray now and all that. I never went anything beyond the DVD. I would actually got to a point where I just play it as a background thing. So if I had nothing else going on, I would just play it in the background. So I worked at WTOP during that period of time, which is a big news station in the DC area. And in my studio, I was in a studio in the back next to the On Air booth. I would actually play the tape, the VHS version that I purchased. I would just play it all the time. And while I was working, not all the time, but I periodically I'd play it. I'd just have it on in the background. And I'd have the music turned on or sometimes have off. But people would walk in and look up at the screen and say, "What are you looking at there?" I get really bizarre reactions to it. I do remember there's a scene where you can see some young girls. I think they're South America, Native American people, and they're naked. And so I just let it play. People would walk in and say, "Oh my goodness, what is that?" So, um, and the I would explain it to them, and some of the people would come in and they would explain some of the scenes to me because I had no idea what I was looking at sometimes. Some of the scenes we can go through all of that, of course. Let me go ahead and bring this up. This is
That's
the
so interesting. I think that's a very like a good way of showing how literally anything they're like how art is such a broad term, like what we were talking about before, because this movie is definitely like a piece of art, and I think art can impact people very profoundly in different ways, and it doesn't always have to be like a painting, because for me it's a sculpture that I really like. It's the Winged Victory. Um, and that's like I could look at that, I could just stare at it all day. And this movie I feel like is the same kind of thing where it feels like something creative or artistic kind of reaches into your soul and kind of just shakes you up a little bit.
hmm I agree. That's a good way of putting it. Yeah. The this is right here. I queued it up. Is the monkey chant. So I technically there's no dialogue, but I guess you could say you could hear people's voices here. So there are you can not actual dialogue per se, but you can actually hear people's voices. But the majority of the movie is not like that. There's a lot of stop. What I forget the exact term where you speed the images up. I should know this. I can't remember where you have time lapse. That's what I'm thinking of. Time lapse
Oh,
photography, where the
yeah, yeah.
images are sped up. So you're seeing time go by very quickly. Um, the there's this was also Ron Frick, who was the main person behind this, was also part of another movie series that came out prior to this in 1982 called the Koyaanisqatsi series. There were four movies with that one. Koyaanisqatsi was the first one, and there were three sequels that came out over the years. I don't remember exactly what the terms mean. Baraka, hold on a second. You may have looked this up. I don't know. Do you remember what Baraka means off the top of your head? I know what it means. I just can't remember. Hold on a
I
second.
do not remember.
Let me see if I can find that. Um, oh, I can't remember. It is a special word and it means something very nice. I can't remember. It definitely matched. Hold on a second. Let me bring up.
Oh, I think you might have told me like the last podcast or something. I forget as well though.
Yeah, let me bring it up here. This is. I'm going to bring up the IMDb. Oops. Let me sign in first so we can see a little bit better. 1 second. Okay, here we go. Okay, is that up? Hold on a second. I have your screen down, so I can't see what we're seeing here. Okay, there we go.
Yeah, I can see it.
Good. All right. Let me see. Let me go to the trivia section here. This is IMDb. I think. No, no, it's not there. Okay, I thought it'd be near the top. I don't remember exactly what it's called. Anyway, Ron Frick. Let me bring him up real quick. Okay. Um, here's the movies he's done. He was part of. Yeah, he did Baraka. Here's Samsara, and then Kronos is just right here. So those are the three movies that you could say are all part of this. I've never seen any of his other movies. Oh, well, I've seen the Koyaanisqatsi movies. He was also part of that as well. Here's Koyaanisqatsi. So that's another one. It follows the same kind of idea, music without any dialogue. The music is a little different though. It's not the same as Baraka. So he was part of this one, but this was more of a Godfrey. I forget how to pronounce his name. Godfrey Reggio. I forget how, but he was one of the primary people that was for that one. Ron Frick was part of it, but Ron Frick was the main person for Baraka when the other ones came out. So, let's see. Now, when I first saw this, the first scene I was probably introduced to, if I can find it, was the scene where we have. Here we go. Yeah, right here. I think this is one of the first scenes I remember seeing because I didn't watch it from the very beginning. So I walked in and like I said, I was at a friend of a friend's place. We were in his apartment watching this, and I had just learned about these statues. How they had unearthed these statues that were buried somewhere in China. I don't remember where it was. It was
Oh
underneath
yeah.
a large
Sorry, I
mountain.
remember learning that in school, yeah.
And at the time, I'd never heard of it until I was, like I said, just before I saw this. I was like, oh, look at that! I just learned about that. So, um, let's see. The imagery. The one thing I will say about the imagery about this is that it makes me appreciate people from around the world. It doesn't show any. Well, I guess you could say there's some negative aspects when it comes to the little chickens being thrown away.
That made me so sad. I looked away from the screen for a while. Actually, I did not enjoy that at all.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's mostly a positive thing though, but that is like the only, I guess you could say, one of the only negative things about this. Everything else makes me appreciate the world for, because most people are just, it seems like everyone's just angry a lot, and this just shows the positive aspects of what the world is about, mostly.
Yeah, I definitely think that there's like there's points in the movie where it's like specifically for social commentary. I don't have any timestamps written down, but like I think some of it is like it's trying to make a point or like subtly say like this is also an issue. These are some really great things, but there is like this issue, like the chicken thing. Like that's it was like the issue of industrialized farming. That's a whole huge issue, and like I recommend researching that for anyone listening. Recommend researching that industrialized farming, especially if you eat meat. It might be something interesting to look at. But
And
anyway,
the chickens, you know about this. From what I understand, the reason they're going through the little chicks, is they're looking for the male ones, which are going to be instantly killed off, and the female ones, they would cut their beaks off and then put them in so they could just lay eggs.
yep, it's pretty sad.
Hmm. I forgot there is another negative aspect about this, or something that's not, the movie is a negative, but it shows another negative aspect about the world, and that's the right here, the
Yeah,
when the in Kuwait, when during the first Iraq conflict, when Saddam Hussein went in and he turned all the oil started all the oil refineries on fire. So that was pretty devastating right there. So
yeah.
that's another negative aspect right there. Pretty brutal stuff too. I mean, the imagery. This is the DVD. If you have a good clean copy of this, it almost looks, it's so clean that sometimes it looks almost fake. It's, if you can imagine that, it's just, the imagery is just so unreal. In some ways, it's sometimes I look, okay, am I really looking at something that's real, or is it CGI? No, it is real. It's all real.
Right.
So
Especially, sorry, go ahead.
no, that's it. I was wrapping up. I was fine.
Especially since we live in um like the east coast of America, which is very like there's this very specific look to most of the east coast where it's usually there's greenery, there's trees, maybe some mountains, stuff like that. And to see something like this, even to see the desert sometimes in like Arizona or something, even to see that sometimes it's like, geez, is this even real? It doesn't look like my what I'm used to. It looks almost like another planet or like
Mhm.
something CGI from
Yeah,
a movie.
yeah. And when the very beginning of the movie, you see the monkey that's sitting in the warm water. Do you remember that scene? I'm trying to bring it up right.
Yeah.
When I saw that for the first time, yeah, right here. When I saw this, I thought that was a person's in a monkey suit.
Really?
I think that can't be a real monkey. It's got to be someone wearing a suit. And then I watched it. I was like, oh, I guess it is a real monkey. Really,
That's fair. That's fair. Yeah.
the image was very good. This is this is ripped off of a DVD that I own. So, and I'm not violating any copyrights because I do own the DVD. So I'm just using this so we can zip through this much more quickly. But the image, like everything, like this right here is real. Obviously, they put the word Baraka, but that's a real what do you call it?
Eclipse?
Eclipse. Yeah, eclipse. I couldn't think of the right word. So everything on there is real. So there's nothing like phony. This scene right here, the clear, when you see this on a clear screen, this looks like, getting back to the thing about CGI, this looks like CGI to me at first, and I'm
Yeah.
going, it's just like it's got to be fake, and no, it's real. It's,
Almost like a really high quality video game world or something.
yeah, it's really good. How do you feel about the, I guess, the imagery itself?
I think it's very impactful. I think some of it stressed me out. Like the chicken thing, I was just like, oh geez, now I'm thinking about now I'm thinking about these poor chickens. Um, but most of it was very nice. And I did write down that I liked how throughout the film there's like moments of activity and there's moments of calm where they show and then the music correlates with that, where they show moments of activity, of human activity, of like regular, like I guess there was that the volcano, was that a volcano or something? I think that
Yeah,
was.
let me go back
They
there.
showed that like natural activity and the music. if I remember correctly, the music almost always correlates with um, whatever's on the screen, which I think is also a very interesting, or like a really just it enhances the experience. Um, and then there's moments of calm where they show like the greenery or like a mountain or something, which is really nice. I just think that the way it was edited together, we're back to the editing. The way everything was edited together was really nice.
Hmm. The the music, the score itself, really, it's everything works together to make this production just a great thing. Um, I, I watched this thing so many times, but like I said, I didn't sit there and just sit there with my face glued to the screen. It was like I said, mostly just on in the background when I had nothing else to do. So,
Right.
and I could look up and see it, and I would turn the music up periodically. The I was gonna say I did want to, before I forget about this, the movie Blade. Have you ever seen that one with Wesley Snipes?
I have not.
It's a he's a vampire hunter. The In the movie they pay like a homage to this to Baraka in Blade, and it's blatantly obvious. It's not like ripping it off. You can They actually use some of the music that's in Baraka, and they do the time lapse photography sometimes where the images speed up and it goes from night to day real quickly, and they'll play the music from Baraka, and there's a scene where he's getting ready to fight some of the evil. He's what's called a daywalker, so he's like part vampire part human, so he has all the strengths of a vampire but none of the weaknesses that they have, so he can fight the evil vampires in the movie. So, and at the very end of the movie he has to fight all the vampires, and there's this one scene where he has to prepare and he's meditating, and they show like the camera slowly move in just like they do in Baraka onto a vase that he's meditating next to, and the music from Baraka is playing in the background, and it's so blatantly obvious. It's like, oh my goodness, that's so cool to see that in there. So
That is so cool. Is that
yeah,
like a I feel like I know the like the name of the movie,
here
sort
it is,
of.
Blade. So and the funny part is I don't like vampire movies.
Oh, I've seen the cover. Yeah.
I don't like vampire movies at all, but I like this one. So this is, I can honestly say I really can't think of any other vampire movies that I really like at all. But this one I really do like. And
That's cool.
not the fact that they have Baraka in there is not the only reason. There are other things too. Wesley Snipes is a pretty good actor. So, but it's just I just want to add that in there before I forgot.
That's super interesting. Yeah, I don't really like a lot of vampire movies either. There's one with do you know who John C. Riley is?
I know the name. I'm not sure who that is. Let me see.
To match a face. It's the guy who usually acts beside Will Ferrell, the one in Step Brothers,
Mm,
um, in Talladega Nights and stuff.
this is him.
I think
Okay.
his last name is spelled
Oh,
Reilley.
let's see. R. Yeah, let me spell again. R-E. What was that again?
They're right there, the first guy.
Oh, okay, there we go. Okay.
He was in a vampire movie. This is kind of off topic, but he was in a vampire movie that I think I watched for the first time when I was like 10 or something. And it was actually like, it wasn't the best movie I've ever seen in my entire life, but it was interesting. And I think it was made sometime in the 2000s, maybe? I don't know. It's
Okay.
like, it's definitely something to watch if you
Back
don't
then.
have much else going on and
Oh,
you're interested in something that's kind of funny-ish and a little bit sort of spooky, it could be a good movie to watch. I forget what it's called.
okay. Okay. All right. I'll change. Is it a comedy or is it straight? Is it more serious or how was it made?
I think it was sort of. It was like half. Oh, here it is. It's Cirque du Freak, the vampire's assistant.
Oh, let's see.
It's kind of. It seems like it's trying to be more of a serious, spooky movie. Not. I wouldn't say scary. I would say spooky. But it's kind of. It
Oh,
also has funny moments.
I'll
So
stick him in there. It's weird.
the yeah, there we go.
Vampires. I, there's also, let's see. Oh, here we go. Okay. I don't see his name there.
Oh,
Is
it
he?
has Josh Hutcherson as well.
Is he? Is
Right
he?
there, the first one.
Oh, okay. I see now.
He's
Okay,
like the vampire guy.
gotcha. Gotcha. I missed
I
that.
think
Okay.
it has Josh. No, it doesn't have Josh Hutcherson. It has someone who looks like him.
2009. Okay. No, I haven't seen that one. So would so it's a movie like if there's nothing else on, you would watch it kind of a thing, not really
Yeah,
going to watch. Okay.
I would give it a cool 5.5 out of 10.
That's basically what that's essentially what the rating is, 5.8.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
I didn't see that.
So another movie, I'm going to bring this up too, which also pays homage, kind of, not directly in the movie, but in the movie trailer, Terminator 3, Rise of the Machines.
I've
Um,
seen that like once or twice,
the,
maybe.
yeah, the not in the movie. The movie doesn't do this, but the trailer, the original trailer for Terminator 3 is clearly a homage to Baraka. I can't play it. I'd love to play it here because I don't want to get any copyrights.
Right.
But it is you can the imagery, the music is actually from Baraka. The way the camera pans in really slowly, and then it goes into all the action adventure. You see all the explosions and the robots getting killing and all that stuff. But for the first, I'd say like maybe 30 seconds of the original trailer, I was like, oh, it's like, oh goodness, is this another Baraka movie? And they didn't do it in the movie. There was nothing at all. It was just the trailer. I guess the people who made the trailer wanted, they liked the movie so much they decided, well, let's throw in Baraka just for this, just for the fun of it. But yeah,
Maybe, yeah.
even the music that they use, like I said, it's clearly from Baraka. It's not in the movie at all. Nothing at all. So it's kind of funny.
That is interesting. Do you think maybe there was a conflict or something?
Conflict, as in, what do you mean?
Like maybe there was supposed to be a scene that was like um an homage to Baraka, but then they were like, "No, you can't use it."
It could be. I will say the movie is it's kind of disjointed here and there, so maybe they might have taken something out. So I like the movie only, but primarily because of the ending of the movie. But I'm not. When it comes to the Terminator movies, I love the very first movie. It's one of my favorites of all time. As far as, but at the second one, I'm not a big fan of. Even though a lot of people love the second one, I'm not a big fan of the second one. The third one I like primarily because the ending, they finally get moving into going in. I don't know. Have you ever seen the Terminator movies? I'm not sure. I'm talking like you
Yeah.
actually.
I saw the first one the most because I do also think that it's one of the I think it's probably the best one that they've made. The second one I've seen like a couple times. I don't think I've seen the third one more than twice. And
Okay.
then I don't think I saw the fourth, or if there's a fifth one, I didn't see it. But I did see the one that came out in it was like 2015 or something. It came out. I saw that one in theaters. That was all right, sort of.
Is that the one where they travel through time multiple times and change things around or something?
I think so. It was okay. I was like 14 at the time. I didn't have a really good grasp on like how movie sequels kind of should be. So I thought it was like all right at the time. I haven't seen it since.
Oh, okay. Yeah, the I saw the first one when it was still pretty new, and the love story was done very well, and maybe I'm probably one of the few guys that probably likes a nice love story. So the and the fact that one of the main characters actually gets killed off was done very well. I mean, because a lot of times I've a lot of movies, especially during the 80s when that movie came out, the good guys usually survive, and they and then that became a main thing. And during the 70s, that wasn't a thing. A lot of times the main characters would get killed off, and then during the 80s they decided, well, we want the good guys to survive. And the idea that the one of the main characters actually gets killed off, and it's really, it really added to the depth of the story and everything, the love and the emotion. So um
Right.
the
Yeah, I
only
can definitely see how that would be super impactful.
Yeah, and the only thing that the first movie though, some of the effects towards the end are kind of dated, like the stop motion stuff. Um, but I mean, you can overlook that because the story, for me, if it doesn't matter if the effects are dated looking or even bad or whatever, if it's a good story, then I can overlook that kind of stuff. So
Oh yeah, definitely. I think especially like with An American Werewolf in London. or and like the whole like how he transforms into a werewolf. I feel like that looks dated now, but it was such like an important moment in movie history since it was like the first. Wasn't it one of like the first sort of transforming real time transforming suits? You know,
I haven't seen that for a long time. I saw it a long time. Is that a John Landis movie? Yeah, it is. It's made by
it
John
was
Landis.
like I don't remember exactly. I just remember that I was watching a YouTube video by like a insider or something. I don't know. They interview like different people in different jobs, and this guy that was a costume designer was talking about this movie and how he worked on it and how important that the costume was for the
Hmm.
movie. But yeah, stuff like that, or like the ROUS's scene from Princess Bride where they have the rodents of unusual size is just a
Oh,
guy in a rat suit.
yeah.
That kind of thing. I think that that never really that never gets old. I think that's always you can always use your imagination with
So you
that kind
said,
of thing.
oh yeah, I agree. Yeah, I do. I have seen Princess Bride quite a few, quite a few times. So that I do remember. But yeah, as far as when you talk about American Werewolf in London, yeah, that's I have to watch that one again. It's been a long time for me. So I will say this about that movie. I don't know if you know this, but John Landis directed that one, and from what I remember, yeah, have you seen the Michael Jackson Thriller video where he turns into a werewolf?
Yeah,
He got John Landis directed that, and Michael Jackson got John Landis on board because he did American Werewolf in London. So because
yeah, yeah.
he did that movie, yeah, it's like a little bit of trivia there. So
That's fun.
did we talk about John Landis before? I know someone. It was probably someone else I talked about with. You know what?
I think one of the first episodes we did, we were talking about the movie American Werewolf in London. I don't remember for sure, but I think that's one of the first things we talked about.
The did I tell you about John Landis about what he did? We're getting really off the subject here, but do
Yeah. The
but
helicopter thing?
yeah, I want to make a
Yeah.
correction because I wasn't sure if it was you I talked about. I said that he had been the helicopter where that came down and killed the people. I made a statement that he did it inside of a studio. It was actually outside. I made a mistake on that one. So
Oh.
but other than that, he what he did was wrong. As far as like how the helicopter was flying too low and the explosives still interfered with the helicopter, and that's what made it crash. So I was wrong about it being inside an indoor set, though. I thought it was for some reason. So I just want to make that correction. I looked at it afterwards, and I was going to make a correction on the next show, and I kept on forgetting about that. So,
Right. Okay.
but
Still like still yeah, still a reckless thing to do.
yeah,
So,
everything else I said was correct. It's just it was outside instead of inside. That's all.
okay.
So let's get back to Baraka. So you said you had written some notes about this? Did you have anything else you wanted to add?
I thought that the way I did really appreciate the sounds that they used. I thought that was one of the more impactful things for me. Just like the way that it went with the movie. And I know we can't play it now, but if anyone can like go and look at it for yourself, it's very interesting. I think that the way like you can hear in some of them you can hear people's voices, in some of them you can just hear like the breathing of the person playing the instrument. I
Hmm.
think that's really interesting too. I think that that like makes you feel a bit more connected to like whatever you're watching in a way. I don't know if that makes sense, but and then like the way that some of the music is it's like just to enhance the visuals. I think that the just the way that everything is kind of stitched together is very deliberate and it's really I don't have the right words, but it's just really impactful, I guess. I've used that word like 4 times so far, but it is.
Now, as far as the breathing, I never noticed that before. That's really interesting. Do you play a musical instrument?
No, I've tried to learn the guitar. I'm just my fingers are meant for painting, not for for plucking strings. I did give it the good college try of like 3 months of lessons, but no, it just didn't really make any sense. I just noticed that I don't know why, but I was paying like I guess without dialogue, I paid more attention to the music part.
Hmm. Now, I will add this, and for those who have been watching my these videos for since December, Um, the woman, the first person I did the show with was Ann Marson, and we did several shows together before she stopped doing them. She did a very similar movie, similar in that, well, similar in the sense, not really similar, but it has some similarities, I should say. Her movie was called Girl Walk All Day, and it's about 75 minutes long or so, roughly. And it has the same premise. There's absolutely no dialogue throughout the entire movie, and it's basically her dancing from beginning to end. Um, and I I was in. It kind of reminded me of Baraka in a similar way. The difference with the score was that it was basically they took sampling. They took samples of different songs and mixed them together throughout the entire movie, and she was dancing to that, and then they matched that up to her dancing. So she danced throughout the entire, like several areas in New York City, and the music just matched what she was doing. So
That's
uh,
cool.
I would recommend. I would definitely recommend that movie. The It's actually available on YouTube. Plus, they have a website that's called girlwalkalday.com, and you can see the whole movie there. But part of the movie on YouTube has been blocked off, so it's like sectioned off like 10-minute segments, and one of those has been, I think, completely removed, and another one the audio is completely blocked out. So if you watch on YouTube, you're going to miss part of it. You'll miss part of the movie. So, but the entire movie is available on their website. You can actually watch it directly. And the difference is that obviously Anne was the focus of the movie, so she would the camera's basically on her for most of it. Occasionally, it'll focus on another dancer, but she's basically there for the entire. It's focusing on her and her journey, so to speak, as she travels through New York. And the only time you hear any kind of dialogue, I mean, any kind of voices, I should say, is at the very end where like everything's wrapping up and they're in a park and they start applauding, and you can hear people like generally talking, but no, you can't hear any specific words or anything like that. So
That's cool. Do you usually like movies with no dialogue more than movies with?
no, I just happen to I like these a lot. I wouldn't say I like them more. I just like them about the, that they it depends on the movie itself. So like Samsara, which is the sequel to Baraka, I have not been able to finish watching that, even though it came out like 11 or 10 years ago. I keep on, one day I'm going to get to it. Um, I have a very clean version of it as well. Here's Samsara. I'm bringing that up on the screen right now. Um, it's to me, it's uh, I've got through like maybe the first half hour, and it just didn't feel as inspiring or uplifting, or I don't know what the right word would be, as Baraka was. So I couldn't sit through it, so I had to stop watching it. So I have it sitting on my computer. One day I'll sit back and I'll just probably watch it all the way through. But I will say the to answer that question, no, that's not. I don't like them better, probably, but the same. It depends on the movie itself. I do like the movie that came out before Baraka, Kronos, which is a shorter version of Baraka. In fact, a lot of the scenes that are in Baraka are basically copied or emulated in Kronos. I mean, or the other way around, I guess you could say, because Kronos came out first. But it's very obvious that you can see the same kind of imagery in that first one. And basically, Ron Frick was, in my opinion, I believe, just expanding upon his original work and making it more into a larger theatrical presence. Because from what I understand, Kronos was only released in a like a small, what do you call it, like a planetarium or something. I want to say like a theater that was in a planetarium or something to that effect. I don't remember exactly. It wasn't, and you can buy. I have the DVD of it, but originally it was only available in like some sort of planetarium or something.
Right. That's cool. Yeah, that makes sense. I feel like it was hard for me to concentrate in some parts of the movie just because I feel like maybe it's the scatterbrain ADHD sort of thing. But it's like it was harder for me to pay attention without the dialogue, like dialogue in it.
Oh, really? That's it.
Just because with dialogue, it's like my brain has the background sound to process the visuals and the words. And it's like a lot going on, and it's enough to, sometimes that's not enough to hold my attention. When I'm watching, usually, most of the time, when I'm watching movies, TV shows, YouTube videos, anything, I'm doing something else as well. And usually it's like painting or coloring or something, because it helps me concentrate on the video. Um, but yeah, without sound, it's harder for me to pay attention to what's going on or without dialogue, I guess.
Really, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've gotten I the first couple of times I watched this, I really focused in on the imagery because I was just so it just became enamored. I mean, it's like, wow, this is awesome. So, the first time I saw it, I was looking at it on a projection screen on a wall in that my friend's apartment. So maybe that's why, because we were looking at a big screen versus like a small screen. So the
Yeah, that might be part of it. I definitely think that it would be like very captivating if it was really big.
hmm I kind of wish, like, when the movie was out, if I wish I had known it existed at the time, and probably gone to a theater to actually see it. I think if it was released, it was probably very limited on theater. I don't know. I don't know all the details about that. So
Okay. Yeah.
these are the list. I brought this up while we are talking. Here's the list of different movies. Here's Kronos right here. So, and um, Kronos, you can see some of the images. It looks very. You can see that these are images that are almost identical to what you're seeing in Baraka. So if you've seen Baraka, you've kind of seen Kronos. There's some extra scenes on there that are different, but it's very similar. The music is different though. A lot of the music is different, so it is worth a watch. I would definitely recommend Samsara, even though I haven't watched it all the way through. That's the sequel to Baraka. And here's the other group, Koyaanisqatsi. This is the one I was talking about before. This is basically the one that started it all. The 1982, and the I think I've seen it once all the way through, but I don't remember liking it as much as I like Baraka. So when my dad and I we get into discussions, he likes these kind of movies. He always says when I tell him I like Baraka, he gives me like this. Oh well, I like Koyaanisqatsi. Like he's like better than me because he likes it. So
That's funny.
and so we have our preferences, even though Ron Frick was part of everything anyway. So it's kind of weird. We it's not like it's done by the same, essentially by him and a lot of the same people. So, um, but let's see what else on here. There's one on here I completely forgot about, and I was going through this list. I have this one as well. Enema Mundi, I think it's how it's pronounced. This is another one. I haven't seen this in a while, but this was also a pretty decent movie. I don't remember it being very long. I have the DVD somewhere. Maybe I'll dig it out and I'll take a look at it, but not right now, of course. But this also seemed pretty good, but not as good as Baraka. So in fact, I think it was this website back in 2001, because it really hasn't changed very much. That I was I was so fascinated by Baraka, I wanted to see other versions of different movies, and I think that's where I got the idea to get Anamundi and Kronos. So, by the way, those who are wondering, this website is called spiritofbaraka.com. So, I don't think it's an official website for the film, but it's like a big fan site. It's been around for a very long period of time.
That's cool. Is there like a small sort of cult following? I'm sure there's like a lot of people who like movies that are I guess I don't know if you would put this in like the indie movie category, but like smaller production movies like this sort of thing.
Yeah, I don't think this is an indie movie. If you want to talk about an indie movie, the one I talked about with Ann Marson called Girl Walk All Day, that is clearly an indie movie right there,
Right.
for sure.
Right.
This one, yeah, I think this was more of this one had a larger budget, I do believe. So, um, yeah, I don't know, but it's a good question. I never thought about that. I wonder if there are a bunch of people out there. I've never even looked online to even find anybody, just this website. So, they don't even have like a forum so people could get together. And IMDb used to have a forum years ago, but they got rid of that. I don't even remember what people said, if they talked to each other or not. So I don't know. I don't know if it has a cult following. I know people out there know it exists and they like it for sure, but I guess until you're actually introduced to it, most people just don't seem to know it even exists.
Yeah, I didn't know. It
The
seems like something maybe like a teacher would show, you know?
mhm. the
Not in a bad way, because I've seen a lot of good movies that teachers have shown, but like it just I don't know, it seems like I would see it in a classroom.
hmm. the as far as the movie itself, would this like, for me, like I said, I was inspired to see several other movies. Does this inspire you in any other way?
Um I don't think so. It's not my style of movie personally. I liked it for
Mhm.
sure, but I like documentaries a little bit more just because I get like information and stuff and my brain has more to do. But I did like it and I would give it like a good 7 out of 10 rating for me personally. If you have a
Okay.
hard time concentrating, a movie with no dialogue might not be for you.
Yeah, that's true. And for me, like for both of us, actually, it seemed because you had never seen a movie like that before, right?
Right.
Yeah. So for me, it's the same thing. I'd never seen it like that before. I guess I was so mesmerized by, even though Koyaanisqatsi came out before this, I had never actually seen it. Um, the or maybe I had my dad maybe I saw it with my dad something I just forgot, but it wasn't something I remembered. But anyway, for me, it was like it just never seeing anything like this before that I remembered. It just really made me go, ooh, I got to watch more of this now. So,
That
um,
makes sense.
and it's not, I don't go out. I just want to emphasize, I don't go out of my, I'm not like saying I'm like a major fanatic or anything like this. I just really, I do like the movie though a lot. So,
Right.
um, I can't. There are some things where I've become really fanatical about, and I hate to admit to that sometimes. Like I was a big fan of the TV show Lost, so I feel kind of cringy when I say that to people nowadays. But but this is not something I became really fanatical about. So
Right. Have you seen like a lot of documentaries like Blue Planet and stuff like that, stuff narrated by David Attenborough?
um, no, is that a Smithsonian one?
I think so. But yeah, I grew up watching documentaries like that cuz my parents, it sounds like annoying, but my parents, my dad especially, were like, you got to watch educational TV. You can't watch TV that rots your brain. And so I would watch documentaries a lot. And those documentaries have very similar um, scenes in them. Documentary, like just documentaries in general. I watch nature documentaries all the time. I think you would like a lot of them because they have very similar scenes. They just full of like facts in the background, like that you can learn about. The David Attenborough ones are, yeah, you see some really cool stuff with Blue Planet, especially just stuff under the water that you just don't realize that there's so much stuff under the water, I guess. But
Is this it right here? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. Is this the movie right here?
yeah, we have the series I think on DVD, but there's a bunch on like every streaming platform. There's so many different documentaries and they're not all nature, but nature documentaries are my favorite and they are the ones that I would recommend the most because it's like, I don't know, I think it's really, I've always found it so fascinating. I think it's just because I watched them growing up. So I think that might be why it didn't impact me as much because I've seen a lot of stuff like a lot of different scenes like that. Especially, I don't know if you know the show. You probably don't, but there's this show, Zaboomafoo.
Nope.
Sounds really weird, but it was like a kids show, and it showed um, different scenes in nature and stuff. With it, it was more than that. I can spell it for you, I think, and you can find it.
Sure. Give me. What I wanted to say though, I may before we get to there, looking at this right here, I may have actually seen Blue Planet because it says 1990 in IMAX, and the Smithsonian Museum in DC. I don't know if you've been to the Air and Space Museum.
Yeah,
They have the they. I think this is one of the movies they were running for a while, so I might have.
yeah.
You know, I just this one in particular, not anything else that was related to it. So, but yeah, how do you spell that?
It's
There it is.
Zoboomafoo.
There you go.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a kids show that I watched and that showed a lot of like that was just a nature show and it showed them in like um Africa and Australia and just a lot of different places where there's a lot of different animals. And so I think that that scenery I've seen it like all my life and just on TV, not in real life, but yeah, on TV. So,
Is this a was this an American show?
yeah.
Okay. I don't. Yeah, I definitely don't remember this one. I guess so. I was well. I was probably working on other things. That I didn't watch too much TV around. It says 1999 to 2001. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a kids show too, so I wouldn't it's a very small group of people that might remember watching it.
Now I wanted to jump back to documentaries that you're saying. The I like documentaries, but the problem I have with documentaries is that they not all of them are like this. So I'm not condemning all of them, but I do have a criticism about them. Is that some of them they'll will put things in there like especially if there's like a historical documentary, they'll just throw in like general imagery from the period, like what they perceive to be the period that they're talking about, and play generic music in the background. And sometimes the music, a lot of times that when that happens, the music is not, it's just generic music. It's not even actual music from the time period. It's just like they grab some random CD that has generic music on it and they just threw it in there for their production. And those kind of documentaries really make me angry, and I want to turn them off immediately. And like I say, I'm not saying all documentaries are like that, but because of that, it's kind of made me not want to watch them in general. You know what I'm talking about?
That's interesting. I'm like the opposite. When I'm watching a documentary or something with dialogue, it's like sometimes my brain just kind of I guess kind of just shoves the music under the rug, under the metaphorical rug in my brain. I don't notice it very much. I just hear the people talking about whatever they're talking about, and that's what I'm like mainly interested in. That's
Hmm.
interesting. Very interesting, like just to see how different people think differently.
And one of the other things that problems I have is I think I told you what I think I have one of my two favorite historical time or things to look at historically are the American Civil War and Native American history. And one of the things I hate when they show documentaries about the American Civil War is they'll show everybody in black and white. And I'm like, why are you doing it in black and white? They had color. Everyone could see in color back then. And then it's like they're trying to show like it's like they have like make it look like they have actual footage from the time. Obviously, they didn't have movies back then. They had still cameras. They didn't have movies, and stuff like that just kind of makes me angry. I'm like, just show it the way it looked. I've been to historical reenactments of actual battles. You know, the first Manassas, second Manassas. I've been to those, and they where everyone's in color. They're not in black and white. Why can't you just make it look like the way it did? You know, stuff like that kind of irks me when I watch that.
Yeah, that's fair. That's definitely fair. Like I feel like for like some people music is a huge part of a movie or TV viewing experience, and it's like it's just as fair as like if something visually is off. I don't like watching like the Twilight series. I don't like watching that because the filter that they have on it is blue and I really hate it. And so I won't watch it. It's the same kind of thing, but just like visual and auditory differences. I don't know if that makes sense, but
I've never seen the Twilight series. Do you, in general, do you dislike the whole any how many? I'm not sure how many you've seen. Do you like it in general though, or do you hate it in general?
I haven't seen I tried literally in quarantine was the first time that I like clicked on one of the videos on one of the movies. And it was literally like 5 minutes in. I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to give this 5 minutes because if so many people like it, there's a reason why it's popular. It's probably, you know, I think condemning popular things because they're popular is dumb because it's like there's a reason why it's popular music, there's a reason why it's a popular movie. It's probably because it's good, you know. But
Hmm.
with Twilight, it was like I can't even get into it because the blue tone, I just hate the way the colors look so much. For me, it's just such a big thing when like the filter is so strong that it's like it darkens the whole movie and it like makes it blue and I just hate it. So I was just 5 minutes in and I just like this is a waste of my time.
Okay. There are lots of people on the internet that go around saying how much they hate it, they hate it, they hate it. I've never seen anyone actually say that they like it, which is kind of interesting considering how popular I guess it is. So, maybe I'm just watching the wrong videos, I guess. So, um,
Yeah, a lot of people my age like it, but they were like the target audience when it came out. So
hmm. Did you watch the other movies that are like the young adult type movies that came out around the same time, like the Hunger Games?
I didn't just because they were in the same like dark filter, depressed tone. I don't need any more depression in my life. I'm good with the drama and stuff. I don't really, it's not something I'm interested in. So I watched like High School Musical and stuff, that kind of Disney stuff. And I definitely think that those are good movies and there's like a reason why they're popular, you know?
Hmm. I will say I did like I like the Hunger Games, but I wouldn't say it was like my favorite by all time. You know, I watched it once and then like shortly after it came out, then I watched it again like several years later, the whole series. So, but I wouldn't like I can understand what you mean about the tone and everything. But uh, there was also like another group that was like was the Maze Runners was another one, Divergence was another one, and there's another one that didn't even make it past the first movie. It was called the Fifth Wave, and I watched all of them. They all feel like about the same to me. I mean, they all have the same kind of feel. So,
Yeah.
um,
Teen dystopian movies. Yeah.
yeah, yeah, and I will say the Hunger Games was actually done relatively well compared to the other ones. The other ones kind of weird and flaked out. Well, the Maze Runners was not too bad. They introduced zombies in the sequel, and I don't like zombies, so I don't. And but other than that, that wasn't too bad either. So, but yeah, like I said, I'm not a big fan of them. I just if it just happened to be one of those things I kind of liked. I say, okay, this is interesting, so I'll watch it. So.
Yeah.
I will say there's a parody zombie movie. I can't remember what it was. Where it was. I mean, it wasn't fully slapstick or anything. It wasn't like that kind of parody, but it was. I have to look this up again. Basically, it was a zombie movie where where the main character turned into a zombie, but you could hear him speaking through his thoughts throughout the entire movie, and it kind of poked fun of zombie movies in general throughout the entire thing. It was one of the few zombie movies I actually liked. So,
That
uh,
sounds funny.
it was actually pretty good, and he falls in love with a girl and all this, and it's actually done very well. So I that's but in generally I'm not really too big of a fan. I kind of like the movie. I don't know if you saw it with Will Smith. I Am Legend. Did you ever see that one?
I have not.
The that was pretty good, but then the zombies in it just kind of took me out of it. I was like, okay, more zombies. I just okay, whatever. So the big problem I have with zombie movies is the original concept of the zombie from the '60s was that they were uh, reanimated corpses. They weren't alive, and so it was okay to kill them. And the idea that a corpse could come back to life doesn't really fit into the modern perspective of how to make things more believable. So nowadays, modern zombie movies, they're always afflicted with some sort of disease, but they still keep the idea that it's okay to kill them. Which I was like, well, wait a minute, they're still human beings. Why are they act like they're okay to kill them? And every zombie movie or video game is the exact same way. They kill them. I'm like, why are you killing these people? I don't get it. They're living people. They are afflicted. Why are you keep on killing them? I know that they're trying to kill you, but don't you think it's wrong? And their attitude is, nope, they're zombies. It's okay. We can kill them. So it just that's what turns me off. Is like you're still operating under the old rules that they're animated corpses that are dead. They're not. They're living people. The modern versions are modern. It just pisses me off when I see that stuff. So I don't. The callous attitude that they have towards people as if they're not people anymore. They're zombies. It's like no. That doesn't make they all follow that same rule, which kind of makes me angry. That's why I usually don't like them. So
That's fair. It's like how in some movies people are trying to kill vampires just because they're vampires, even if they're like not trying to do any harm or whatever. I think, I don't know, I'm not an expert, but like I think sometimes it's just like because if it's a person but they have the label of like a of something that could be potentially dangerous, it's like in a movie automatically people are okay with killing them.
yeah, yeah. Because I've seen some vampire movies where once they once they turn into a vampire, it's like okay, they're fair game to kill off now because it's like
Yeah, it's really weird, but yeah.
the what's another one? There was a vampire movie I kind of liked. It was called The Lost Boys. Kind of. Did you ever see the Bill and Ted movies?
I've heard of them. I don't think I've seen any yet.
Okay, well it doesn't matter. Well, the guy that plays
Oh yeah, Bill and Ted's Bogus Journey or
yeah.
Awesome Adventure. I saw one of them.
Okay, yeah, the one that plays Bill with the blonde hair, the blonde curly hair. He's one of he's one of the vampires in the Lost Boys, and it's kind of funny to see him play like a more serious role, not like a valley dude. So, but that one had follows some of the vampire rules, but they kind of poke fun at it as well. It's not a bad movie, but it's not I wouldn't go out of my way to watch it either. So there are a lot of people that like that movie. It came out like the late '80s. So the during the late '80s and into the '90s, they had these movies with Corey Haim and Corey Feldman. I don't know if you knew about this. The two of them were like in like so many movies. They called them the Corey and Corey movies. There were like so many of them that came out during that time period, and that was one of their movies where the two of them were in this movie together. It was like a series of movies. That came out during that time period. So there was just one of those in a long line of movies that they did together.
That's cool.
So okay, well let's go. I guess we can go ahead and wrap everything up. You said the final score you gave was what? Was that 7 point something?
7 out of 10.
Okay, I'd have to go higher. I'd have to go like maybe at least probably out of 9. out of 10 for me. So,
Makes sense.
all right. Well, let's go ahead. And I'm going to bring back our question that we asked earlier, see what kind of response. Give me 1 second here. Let's see. Oh, it looks like pretty good. Okay, here we go. I'm going to refresh the screen and bring it up here. All right. If you could be anywhere right now, where would that be? With 186 votes so far, and your choice is obviously the number one response. I thought so. Well, that's 70%. Let's go through the choices first before we look at the responses. We got 10% after that with the French countryside and a big city. 9% after that with another planet, and 2% with in the middle of the ocean. Yeah, I don't, unless you're on a boat or something, I don't think people would want to be in the middle of the ocean. So.
Yeah.
That's actually just a lot of responses. Let's see what we got here. Okay. Oh,
Thanks,
cool.
everyone.
We got here. Okay, this one's getting a little sexual here. Taylor Swift. Okay, we'll skip over that one. Tokyo or Heaven is the first one. Heaven again. That's interesting.
Interesting for sure.
Canada. And a cabin in the middle of a forest, but with electricity, internet, and that stuff. Well,
That's cool.
That's kind of like how I live right now.
That's cool.
I live in a very rural area. I only have 3 neighbors on the gravel road I live on, and I live in the middle of a forest. But they recently wiped out a large section of it, which kind of made me angry. So,
Oh yeah, that sucks.
Tokyo, that's interesting. Your choice. Okay, this is a San Andreas comment. Grove Street, which is where CJ in the game lives. Ganton, which is the neighborhood that's right next to where he lives. San Andreas. Wait a minute. I think he is in Ganton. I forget. I think he's got that right. So Grove Street, which is in Ganton, which is in San Andreas. So yeah, okay.
That's cool. And the next 3, I think, are all from.
Yeah. We have Grove Street, which is also San Andreas. Vice City, which is from Grand Theft Auto Vice City, the one that came out before that game. And then Los Santos covers 3 games: the original Grand Theft Auto from 1997, Grand Theft Auto San Andreas, and then Grand Theft Auto 5. Los Santos was in all 3 of those games.
Yeah.
So yeah, I figured there'd be a lot of Grand Theft Auto ones. But yeah, I guess the answers we gave were not. I think there were 2. Some of them were a little out there, like Another Planet. Yeah, that's kind of out there. If we kept it, maybe we kept like maybe had 2 questions. One that would be more anywhere, and one that would be more focused on Earth.
Right.
I don't know. The French countryside is very specific. I think it's good. It's a good answer. I'm just saying. I think it was just 2. Whoops, sorry. I had I was gonna say I had a little thing in my hand. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to turn it on there. If you heard a little buzz sound, that was me turning it off. Sorry. The French countryside is really good, but it's
specific.
Yeah, that's the word I'm looking for. Yeah, specific. Yeah, I think it was something more general. Probably would have been maybe a little more appropriate for the question, like maybe Europe in general.
Yeah. Yeah,
So.
but this kind of like pushes more people to go and comment where they would want to be. Because I feel like even if you said something like New York City or something popular, it would be like, I think it'd just be more interesting to hear like a specific place if someone.
Or if we said the countryside, and we'd added maybe added an example as the French countryside, or other examples as well, maybe.
Yeah.
So. But anyway, okay. Well, the answers are pretty good. So thank you, everyone. And we can come back to that next week when we see it and see what kind of responses. I don't think it's going to change very much. We'll just get more comments, obviously. So.
Okay.
All righty. Well, thanks, everyone. And we'll be back next week with another show, and we'll talk to you then. Thanks for watching.
Thanks for listening.